Dialed in
to Bucks and Brews, you might hear something
you can use.
like tips on your cash or tips on the suds.
You're gonna want to
The
use
smarts of these stuff.
because they know the
And
brews.
they know the Bucks, and they know they can't help the stubborn fucks.
So listen up, because shit's not funny.
Save yourself some
Beer money. Bucks
and brews.
Bucks and
Bucks
Brews.
and brews.
Bucks and Brews.
Welcome back to Bucks and Brews. So we have a jam-packed episode tonight, and we're going to get to some stories as well. But before we do that, Nick,
Yes,
what are you drinking?
I am drinking my limited edition, but it's not limited to me because I've had it for a couple weeks now. Busch Light Peach. Been enjoying it. It's a little rainy here today.
It
so
is.
It's not feeling like summer, but this is a great summer drink for me.
It is. And again, I liked it. It's very peachy, but also very Busch Lighty.
Yeah.
I don't enjoy the Busch Lighty nearly as much as I do the peachy.
And I say I'm kind of jealous of your little spread. What do you got over there?
So I have fun stuff. I have one of my all-time favorites from Atwater Brewery in Detroit, Vanilla Java Porter. And then two from Pigeon Hill. I have a salted caramel porter and a oatmeal cream pie.
Those are delicious.
They are delicious. And Pigeon Hill, of course, in Muskegon, Michigan.
That's true.
So Michigan beers. Mike,
Joining-
Mr. Eye Candy, joining us today. What are you drinking?
Well, I'm probably only going to drink one today because I will have to leave. So I don't know. I might grab a second one. But I've got Founders. It's called Decaf Lime. It is a Goza style ale aged in tequila barrels with lime and natural flavors.
Nice.
I say from now on, I think I have to have a day cap and a nightcap.
And it's only, I mean, because the tequila barrels don't get the same alcohol add to them that the with like the bourbon barrels do. So it's only
Right.
like still a 5.5%.
Nice.
So
Still drinks light.
we're going to talk housing market outlook tonight, but before I got some story times.
I do want
Story
story time before I
time.
have to leave.
All right. So my first story time is, for those of you that listen in quite a bit, I am a high school softball coach. Our season came to an end on Saturday. Our first game, we had a thrilling walk-off victory, which was just one of the most awesome games I've ever been involved in. I mean, we were down 4 runs, came back and won, or I guess we were down 3 runs. We were down 4-1.
Yep.
Came back and won. It was just awesome. And then in the championship game, we just didn't have enough. So lots of tears, very sad. Chris and I are leaving, and we're 2 of the last people to leave. And I looked at him. I said, I don't know about you, but I think I'm going to get tore up tonight. He goes, I'm going to drink enough that I'm going to go to the hospital.
Say,
So I go to an open house the next day for one of my players, and her mom goes, I hope you had time to have some adult beverages last night. And I said, actually, I didn't have a drink.
really?
I didn't. I went home. Actually, I went to the business and saw Dawn so I could get a hug. I saw her for a little bit, and then I went home and I finished putting together our new Blackstone griddle.
Oh, congrats.
Thank you. So that's all put together now. So now I just have
Yay.
to season it, and then Mike and I can be cooking on the Blackstone while we're drinking on the porch. I tore
Not
out
that we
some-
don't cook off the grill too, but it's
True.
yes.
I tore out some trees that were growing that aren't supposed to be there. So I had a productive evening.
Nice.
I texted Mike that, I was sad I couldn't drink because I wasn't drinking alone, and he was exhausted, so he wasn't going to come help me.
Oh no.
But
They have made it up there, but I would not have made it back with
Right.
or without alcohol in my system.
well, and I was licking wounds the entire weekend. I mean, it's such a special team we had, and I'm going to miss the hell out of these seniors. But let's get to the fun story time.
Yes.
I get here and I get a text message from my daughter.
No. Text message?
Yeah, she texted me, Dad, check your email.
Oh, let's see.
Okay. So I check it and there's an email. And it says, I got this at my school email. Is this real or junk? And I read it to Nick, Mike.
I was gonna say you didn't read it to me. I would
didn't.
remember that.
I read it to Nick. I'm gonna open it right now because I'll read you the opening line and you tell me the validity of this message, okay? So it starts, Dear qualified student, Your 2020
50 right now.
Your 2023 student benefit check has been approved by the College Board and payment is set to be released.
Right.
This grant is to support students in paying educational and personal bills. This is not a loan you will not be required to pay back. For claims, kindly submit below: full name, mobile number, personal email. Important note: respond to this email must go to our grant coordinator, whose information is listed below.
Right.
Do not directly reply to this email, as this is a non-reply email. Your application details should be sent to Mr. Perry Anderson only. Also note that it is mandatory to contact Mr. Perry from your personal email. Then it lists Gmail, Yahoo, Hotmail, iCloud, etc. Regards, Student College Board.
Student College Board. Nice.
So I called my daughter and I was telling Nick, like 3-4 months ago, she caught a scam before I did. I'm like, she totally picked this out and she's getting smarter. And I call her and I go, so do you think it's a scam? She goes, no, I think it's real. And I went, oh my God. I love my daughter, but you know, sometimes she's a little too trusting.
I think the favorite part is the fact that it literally says reply to Mr. Perry only.
Yes, I did enjoy that. So I read her the email address that it comes from.
Oh, I got to hear this.
It comes because I made her forward me the actual email. It came from Stephanie Brandon. Stephanie.Brandon at ebs.sr.
Oh my God. Syria?
Maybe. And I said to her, I go, does that look like a school email address? And she goes, well, no. I said, and who did they send it to? She goes, well, they sent it to my school email. I said, right. Look in the to. Who is it to? Mike, are you ready?
Yeah.
IN at vx_g.edu. I said, is that your school? And she goes, no. Right. So she goes, so that's just junk. We won't reply. I said, oh, no. Someone will reply. Robert LaSalle.
Robert LaSalle
will reply. So Robert LaSalle, who has a Gmail and a Google number, dear Mr. Perry Anderson, I hope this email finds you well. I was so excited to receive the news of my great winnings. Please send all of my money promptly. Below is the information you requested. Robert LaSalle with my Google Voice number and my email. So now I'm just waiting to hear back from Mr. Perry.
.sr is the top level domain from Suriname.
Nice. So yeah, we'll see what happens there.
Yeah. We get that call while we're on air.
Maybe we will. We know if we do, I'll answer it.
Right.
Well, that was fun. Both the scam and Robert LaSalle.
I thought you would like the Robert LaSalle update. We have not heard from him lately.
I think at some point we need Robert LaSalle, we need Patrick Bronson, and I don't even know what Nick's would be.
Doug LaDouche.
Okay, yes.
Yeah, this one's running for state senator Doug LaDouche. So, on here, we are all three owners of houses. I happen to invest in real estate. So, tonight's topic is, something I think about on a regular basis, right? I mean, I'm constantly thinking about
Multiple times a day.
Yeah, setting myself up structure wise, right? I mean, my wife and I just looked at a house that,
How was it?
so it needs a lot of, it's hard to, so it's a great property. Okay.
The house itself is not
The house itself is good,
as great.
right? I mean, it's okay. The problem is some of the work was half-assed,
Yes.
right? The grout, so you go into the shower, right? And there's 1 foot by 2 foot tiles, the big long ones,
Yeah.
know? And the grout lines are like a 1/2 inch fucking wide. And the corner the grout line runs into like this giant V that could like maybe be like a full inch on the side because no wall's ever square, and I understand it, but like holy shit balls, right? Like
They didn't even really try.
yeah, it's like, hey, we're just gonna throw this up and make it, just some other stuff that was bothering me. The garage door needed to be replaced, soon. The roof's older, so and mind you, this is a very, to me, it's a very expensive house, right? Like it's not like this was an investment property type thing. This is a very expensive. Nick's going to live in it.
Yeah, and it's not something you're going to want to put a shit ton of money into if you buy it.
Right. If I bought it at investment price, sure, I had no problem. Like, had I been able to get this house the price I would love it for, right? Like, let's say the person beat the crap out of it, I would still love the land and then put my money into it and be very happy with it,
Yeah.
right? But they were asking top dollar, and
The house just isn't quite up to that standard.
right. And that's kind of it. So,
We don't want you to move anywhere. We still want access to your pool.
no, so
It
this,
has a pool.
so this had a pool.
So
Dawn
Um,
asked.
better.
Almost the same thing. So it's okay. Really, when you think about it, it's on 2.5 acres.
Mhm.
So you guys know my house, right?
Yeah.
So
It's a lot.
yeah, I have a lot, right? This has a pool. That one, my house has a pool. This one just it has an extra bedroom, bigger square footage. It's got a barn that I want, but like the barn's been converted to a like another house or whatever. So like it's got a studio up top in the mezzanine.
Yeah.
Think about my Granville house.
Yeah.
So the upstairs is living quarters, and then downstairs has a kitchen, a bathroom, and a living room. So it's really, it's nice. And then
Almost like an in-laws house.
exactly, it's an in-law suite. And then the back, the back has woods with a huge ravine, and then
Can I ask a shitty question?
sure.
If you bought it, would your in-laws live there?
They'd still stay in my house. I'd offer for them so that I could save some fucking money, but
I had to
I
ask.
couldn't live with them. It'd be hard. I mean,
Well, it's a different house. It's just on your property.
right. So, and it wouldn't be good enough for them. God no.
I had to ask.
that's where you let Caitlin and people move in.
Well, that's the kind of it, right? It'd be like those types of people where it's like, man, I'd love to make the money off of it. But it's on my property. That's kind of
Somebody
Yeah.
you wouldn't mind living
right.
kind of with.
So my wife has no idea. So, all right, the back half of the roof was done at one point. The front half wasn't.
Okay.
And my wife's like, who the hell does half a roof? And I'm like, me? Like this side only gets all the sun and gets beat up by the trees. This side's perfectly fine. I'm not going to replace it. Like,
Right.
so sometimes when people, if you're not into real estate, you don't understand that kind of thing happens. Like really everything just gets, all the wind comes from this direction, stuff like that. So the other half had to get done. And again, being a bigger house, like I know that has to get done. There's some things that I just see that I had to put more money into. I'll just say it, right? This is a $500,000 house. Okay.
Sure.
Right. It is. And when I think to spend $500,000, I just think,
You want to move into a house and not have to do shit.
right. And I don't mind doing cosmetic. I'm not a cosmetic like the shower doesn't bother me,
Yeah.
but they're, the garage door, like they really could have just spent the $5,000 to get an insulated new door on there. Like that's fine. The roof, again, I don't mind, but like let my, take, and again, I went in with an offer of 50,000 less, right? Because I was like, hey, these are the things that are here where it needs to be and needs to get up to, and then I'll have a $500,000. I'm willing to put that money in, but you're going to pay for it, right?
Right.
I'll do the work or whatever it is. And I can't say it's $50,000 worth, but like my contractors and this and that and blah, 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 all the crap. Also, like, because I've struggled with my pool and how much I hate it, their system seems a little old. And I was like, fuck, that's a new filter. The pump's running, it's fine, but like I'm gonna get a new filter. I'm gonna put the glass in it like we did at our house. Like I'm gonna get this all perfect. I don't want to start again. So like I kind of did it with like, hey, these are the things I know I'm gonna have to pay for, and I don't want to, and I want you to pay for it, and I'll
Right.
be happy. So but somebody will buy it. It's awesome property in 7 minutes from my house. So it's like literally the exact same area. Just really, it just didn't work out. So yeah, we'll see. But so that being said, like I know that the housing market, I'm already seeing a lot of foreclosures, right?
Let me ask you this, because I know my opinion.
Yep.
Do you feel like sellers are still treating the market like they did a year and a half ago.
I guess, how do you think sellers were treating it?
They basically felt like, even if they, let's say they listed a house at 300,000, they thought it was, they were going to get 350 to 375 offered on it, and in some bidding war that it was worth more than what they really was.
There's some sellers out there, but I don't think
You think that's kind of cooling down?
right. I think people are still expecting that your house will sell within a 2-week period, right? Or a week period. Like, you'll have an offer within the first week. And I think that people are still assuming there's going to be some type of over offer, right?
But not necessarily the bidding wars that there were.
Correct, right? You're not going to have these 40 and 50. I don't think that sellers are thinking that, right? Like, I just sold a house that I didn't get what I thought.
Right.
I just got my numbers on it, and I'm not disappointed. I'm just not happy.
Right.
I hope that makes sense. to
You
people,
made
right?
money. You just didn't make what you felt you could make.
Correct, right? Like, part of me is, I'm not sad. I'm just disappointed.
Yeah, you're a little bummed out.
Right.
Because if you made what you wanted to make, it would have been a much better year.
Great year, right?
Yeah.
I mean, granted, it's still going to be like, I have another one that's coming up, and I was doing math, and I'm just like, fuck, I'm broke. Or if I sell this, I'm still broke. And it's like, oh yeah, because there's still a crap ton over in this other house. And I'm like, man, it will never actually, but I'm probably going to end up holding this other house now because I've made this money.
Mhm.
And it's like, yeah,
So you're not as motivated to sell.
correct. Right. Now selling one has allowed me to keep 2.
Right.
Is the way I look at it, right? Which is a dream, right? Anybody hopes to fucking dream for that,
Yeah.
like in my business. So, and I'll only have, I don't know, I won't have that much of my own personal cash in comparison out there, right? And if I wanted to, I can go get the cash back. But
Do you ever feel like your friends suck?
boy,
Because the first thought in Mike's mind, the first thought in Dawn in my mind is, but the pool.
yeah,
You're gonna leave your house, and that means we don't have a pool to go to anymore.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm so used to fucking doing it. And, no, I don't know. I never really, because I know that I can't get a house without a pool or without waterfront property.
Because your wife and your daughter.
Correct,
Yeah.
right? Well, mostly my wife. My daughter doesn't really have a say. I mean, here's what happens. So we find this house and literally checks all the fucking boxes except for, all right, so to me, things it doesn't have, right? I absolutely love the in-law suite. My wife's like, we can convert it back and you could have your shop in there and you could have your woodworking. And I was like, nah, man, that's I like it. It's income, and
Yeah.
I might be able to do something or whatever. I was like, I could build a second barn, for the stuff I want.
You could Airbnb it.
Right. And my daughter's like, I don't want to move. I'm like, kid, it's literally
Yeah, that's not up to you,
1.5
sorry.
miles away. It's like, it's still in the school district.
Yeah.
And she was just exhausted that night. So she's like crying about it type thing. And I was like, Jesus Christ, kid, like, this is, like, stop. Right. And then we get there the next day and she's like in love with the house. And then her emotions like, I don't want to move. And she's like, can this be our summer house? First of all, what? Like, how do you know about a summer house? Like, have I spoiled my kids to that point where she knows that people have summer houses and
Well,
stuff?
she may just have friends with summer houses. I mean, she goes to Jenison.
Right. And I'm over here like, I never once thought about, like, I remember my first time getting invited to somebody's cabin. I was like junior or senior, right? Like, I didn't have friends that had these things. When we went away, hey, my grandparents live up north and we're gonna go visit, right? Like, yeah, well, that's where we go hang out. But
Mike and I will have a summer house. We might have two, honestly,
Yeah.
because when something happens to my mother, hopefully many, many years from now, the Plainwell house will be my summer house.
Yeah.
And I'm sure Mike will come there too, because we're going to put in an indoor/outdoor pool. We're going to have windows and shit that open up, but
Yeah.
in the winter, it's going to close down and we can still go swimming.
yeah. And so I
Reinforce the
just,
top of the garage so we could do cannonballs off of it.
Yeah, we're going to reinforce the top of the garage too.
hell yeah.
Party's up on the top of that garage.
Sounds perfect. But so like she's going, but really it does. It's got some land. It's got it, and the land was perfect for me because I hate mowing. Okay, so when I tell people I want land, I want like an open area that I don't have to like take care of because I'd love to be able to go shooting and stuff like that. But I also don't want to mow, right? But a lot of trees are there.
Can I tangent us?
Sure.
Speaking of shooting,
Yeah.
you sent me a picture.
Yeah.
We talked about this a little bit last week.
Yeah. Aunt Sue.
Aunt Sue.
Yeah.
Shooting with her was a fucking blast. That's the last time I ever shot with her was with you.
Yeah. I see. And it was a good time, you know.
We had so much fun shooting with that old woman.
we talk about this this
Your
photo.
gun was heavier than her.
Yeah, I'm pretty positive, right? So it's a 45 cal 1911, right? And this lady is what, 87 pounds?
Yeah,
soaking
about
wet?
that.
And you know, she's the size of my right leg. That's
You
pretty much
literally sat behind her like you were Johnny Bench.
dude, it was great. And then, you know, with a photo and her back is just so bent, right, from the recoil of this thing, and just the smile on her face. Like, I'll never forget, right? It's hilarious. Like when
She
people
had so much fun with that fucking gun.
I'm like, you sure you're gonna pull that? And she's like, wow, and just body bending backwards. And it's like things you can't make up, right?
I think we talked about that briefly last week, but
Yeah.
you just brought up shooting and
But
it made me think of it again.
you know, and in the back of that, so the people that live there apparently have made a trail in the top part of the ravine and all that. So
Uh-huh.
it's like looks like somebody might be driving their quad back and forth. I'm like,
Okay.
great, quad stuff, like all these fun activities. Like,
Yeah.
the yard's big enough to where I could have my wiffle ball court back, and you know, or ride quads
Yeah.
or some dirt bike. You know, it's not crazy. And then just a little extra land to mow. But if I didn't want to, it was covered in the front by trees. So that way the people driving by on the street wouldn't be able to see that I hadn't mowed my lawn and kept it up to keep up with the Joneses, because I don't care about that shit.
I mean, I get that because we have now mowed twice this entire year.
No, right? You know, so I just, you know, the other thing my wife wants is a wraparound porch.
Yeah.
Okay. And somehow I have to figure out how to do that she wants a ranch. Actually she wants a ranch, but somehow wants it to be a two-story Victorian.
Yeah.
So if you could ever figure out how to get a ranch
yeah.
Victorian,
I don't know about that.
let me know. So I think I'm going to end up designing
Don't
this.
really go hand in hand.
Well, basically, I think she just absolutely loves what I'm going to call a mezzanine, right? So you just walk
Yeah.
up there and it happens to have space up there, and then she'll have a ranch below. So it'll be a lookout type of a thing, right? So I think if I just build her a tower, she'll be happy.
There you go.
Um,
I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna go back for a minute because we're gonna reinforce that fucking garage.
yeah.
We're gonna have some awesome parties there. I mean, they'll all end by like 8 o'clock because we're all gonna be old
as shit,
bastards.
yeah.
But we're gonna have some really fun ragers until like 8 o'clock.
Yeah, but you got
Hey,
7
we'll follow
bedrooms there.
this. I've got
Yeah,
my
we're gonna
19
We're gonna
robot,
look just like Waldorf and Statler.
But the thing at the bottom is that it's old school.
Oh, it's cool.
Well, it depends on the old Gen X is cool. The other old not so cool. Speaking of old, because we're going off on tangents
Mhm.
tonight, I got a call before our games on Saturday.
Yeah.
Apologizing for not being able to make it
Mhm.
from Steve.
Oh, nice.
But his heart is still not doing well. He's going to go see like his 8th specialist.
Jesus, dude.
I told him he needs to figure that shit out because we need him around for a long time.
Yeah, see, we still got people that need to buy us some damn Plainville ice cream, right, asshole?
That and
This
teach us all more about drinking.
Yeah. Riverboat cruises.
We like
making beef jerky.
we like to shit with the door open. We've literally never done any of those things.
No, I
With the door open.
say
We know you do.
I actually do quite often. It's probably one of my favorite days. To say
Tangent time again. So we come over to swim 2 Sundays ago.
yeah.
So this was after you and I went, Mike,
Yeah.
and I got to take a leak.
Oh yeah.
And I'm gonna go around the garage like I always do.
Yeah, we're
And your pool people walk in that fenced area.
yeah.
And I went, well, shit, I can't go to the bathroom now.
It's right here, can I?
And my wife just starts laughing her ass off.
Yeah.
So I'm like, fuck it, I'll go inside. So I walk inside, I open the door, I get inside, and I'm like, something tells me I should just wait here for a second.
Yeah.
That was a good thing I did because Courtney was peeing with the door open.
Say
And I damn near walked in on her.
the rules of our house, baby. Yeah. It's that's it's just normal, right? Because
Her reaction was the best. She goes, I was literally just peeing with the door open. I'm like, that's fine, it's your house.
say, you know, I mean, you don't. Oh, and the worst thing is, was she there before you?
Yeah.
Oh, so she didn't know you guys were
No,
there.
she knew we were there. She walked out the slider door to talk to us before
All
she
right.
woke you up.
That's a her problem.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, I didn't sleep. I wanted to sleep. I was so exhausted.
Anyways, back to housing.
Oh yeah, see, so when I'm spending that kind of money, right, I want it to be better. And then I also realize that things are gonna start foreclosures are gonna happen. I mean, they are happening currently, right?
Well, and part of that is the high interest rates.
There's multiple reasons for it.
Part of that is the adjustable rate mortgages.
Yep.
Part of that is people overextended themselves when they were trying to find a house because they were so desperate to find a house
Mhm.
that they spent an extra, let's just say $20,000,
Right.
and it's just not feasible. Like, especially with some of these new constructions,
Mhm.
The taxes that were estimated on no house.
Right.
And now their new estimate has come in and now they have a house and they have an extra $2,000 that they didn't expect before. So they're,
Minimum.
yeah.
Like
So their payments are ballooning.
just absolutely minimum
Yeah.
2,000. Like, and that's one thing that people constantly forget. Okay, so I'm gonna say, and this is Nick making up a number on the spot, but I'm gonna say 90% of houses that you look at. So let's just say it's even on the market. And you go to Zillow or whatever, and it says like, hey, house estimate. Well, it's based off of what the old estimate was. So if the person had it for years, well, that's what their tax rate is at this current year.
Mhm.
And then some of them add a little, but like they don't go, but you can go on to almost all, at least here in Michigan, I'm going to say the counties that are around Kent County, you can go on and do a tax calculator estimate, right? Plug in the new purchase price, not your down payment, not whatever, right? Like plug it in and it'll give you this estimate because otherwise, yeah, I mean, you're going up, $200-$300 a month more than you thought you were.
Well, I don't know how many Reddit posts I've seen, and they're like, well, I didn't expect that kind of jump. And people jumped in the comments and they're like, listen, you bought a new construction house. There was no house there before you bought it. So of course your taxes were estimated on no house.
Yep.
So now all of a sudden, that $30,000 piece of land
Mhm.
is now worth $400,000.
Right.
So your taxes have, gone from, $1,000 a year to $8,000 a year.
Well, and right. So within the first year, so they do it off the purchase price, okay, and the rough calculations. Now, so if you're the first person to buy in a new development, but they're also finishing up 2 and 3 right at the same time, sure, you paid 400, the next person pays 420 and 450. Like you're setting this low example, and now everything else is going crazy off of yours, right? And the other one's like, hey, this is what, we didn't realize it was going to be, when it says the 300s, new constructions in the 300s, okay, but is there anything else that's taxable around here at that price, right?
Right.
These people know that they're going to appraise, right? They're setting the appraisal because they are the new house, right? They're the new in the area. And so I think people just forget about that. And really, it's an unknown factor.
Well, and again, people don't necessarily forget about it. They don't know what they don't know.
Mhm.
And when a lot of people go into a housing purchase, there's a whole lot of things they don't know.
They don't know, and mortgage people are so burned. I'm going to say burned out that they don't remember how to teach people to be a first-time home buyer.
Mhm.
They look at a set of numbers and say, hey, this is what you can afford. Make it happen. And again, that number is based off of what you can afford for a house, not what you can have. Sure, they'll be like, hey, this is, but they'll run your estimated taxes. So now if your top end of your estimated taxes and it runs off of last year's taxes, my wife's grandparents' taxes were $1,100. When I ended up buying the house, it went up to like $5,500, right?
Mhm.
Like they bought it at 10 grand, I bought it at 150.
Right.
And so you look at that and you're just like, wow, no, you went off of what they were paying in taxes and you didn't run any numbers, right? So these people they're being lazy and not doing what they should be doing and helping out this person going, hey, you actually don't qualify for this, right? And you're getting a 3% pay increase in a year, right? Most people. And so now your taxes go up 10%, you're screwed, right?
Well, and nobody looks at anything that way because they don't necessarily know to look at it that way. I remember, I think I've told this story on air before. You know, we were looking for a house in like 2002, 2003.
Yeah.
And there was a guy that Dawn worked with, and he had a friend that was a realtor slash mortgage person, and we went and looked at this place, and it was 3/4 done, and it was at 150,000. And I'm sitting there going, and of course, this was right when adjustable rate mortgages were hot.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right, well, this house needs $30,000 worth of work. If it's worth 150, that means I'm willing to pay 120.
Yep.
And I remember the guy coming back to me going, all right, well, we're going to put in a $150,000 offer. I said, who the fuck are we?
Who's we?
I'm not putting that in. That needs $30,000 worth of work. It's an unfinished house.
Yeah.
Well, you're not going to get it at 120. I said, then I ain't fucking getting it. Okay.
Yep.
Well, we can get you a great teaser rate. So I don't know what the fuck that is, but if I'm getting a mortgage, I'm getting a 30-year fixed mortgage. Oh, well, we can't qualify you for that. Then I guess you're not selling me a house.
Right.
Because I didn't know a hell of a lot, but I knew those things.
Well, and people always think, I don't know. People are willing to risk, right? Okay, so the same people that are buying adjustable rates are the same people that aren't investing their money into markets, which blows my fucking mind, right? So you're risking the fact that you think interest rates are going to go lower or stay the same, and you're getting the 0.5% right now. But now, I mean, in the past 8 months, interest rates have been high. It might be a year now. I haven't paid attention.
Yeah, it's been about a year.
Right? Like they've doubled. I mean, they're insane right now for what we think. Granted, and that you get all the people back in my day, it was 17% interest. Yeah, back in your day, you bought a fucking house for 10 grand, asshat.
Yeah.
Like, congrats. You're not comparing apples to apples. You're comparing apples to oranges and hoping that what you're saying is correct, but you're not doing it.
Well, again, that house in Plain, well, you've both, obviously, Mike spent a lot of time there, but you've seen it.
Yeah.
It's 5,500 square feet. It's got 8 bedrooms and 2.5 bathrooms.
Yeah.
Or 2 3/4 bathrooms. 2 kitchens. It's a huge fucking house.
Yep.
My grandmother bought it for like $27,000 in 1972. And at that time, it only had the downstairs kitchen. The upstairs wasn't completed.
Yeah.
Okay, she finished the entire fucking house off. So we can talk about what happened 50 years ago.
Yep.
But 50 years ago isn't today.
Yeah.
And yes, you took out a 30-year mortgage, you were paying 19%.
Yep.
But you also made more money for that time. You know, your wages weren't stagnant like they've been here for the last 20 years.
I mean, I can't say I agree with what you're saying in that, right? Because it's all based off of what you're approved to buy in the first place. So like the money aspect didn't really play that factor, right?
Yeah, but back then,
the housing price,
back then everybody was approved to buy. If
Right.
you had a job, you were approved to buy.
you're approved to buy, right?
There was no credit scores in the 70s and early 80s.
Yeah.
There weren't credit scores until the end of the 80s.
Yep.
So nobody ever sat there and went, are you credit worthy? They
Yeah.
just assumed you were.
Yeah, yeah, you can afford it, sure. And you know what I'll say is, you get to this point where you have to learn from history, right? And you know, back when the 08 crash, I mean, it was all adjustable rate stuff. It was also giving loans to unqualified people. I mean, you know, there's people that will tell you I bought a house in my dog's name.
Yeah.
Okay. Like it's an actual thing that happened.
Yeah, they didn't verify income.
Right.
Strippers had 3 houses.
I say I know one that has quite a few actually.
Yeah.
And she's out of Colorado. But you know, and it's just, to me, if you're doing an adjustable rate, you have to stay on it, right? So like if it goes up, at what point do you just call it and say, hey, I need to refi so that way I take this rate because I'm a 0.5% back to where I was? Or when it gets to the low point where you want and you're comfortable, when do you refi and say, okay, right? You know, I'm not a fan of that, right? But I like steady monthly bills, you know, and sure, the only time I tell anybody to take an adjustable rate is when you're guaranteeing that you're not going to live in that house for longer than that adjustable rate.
Yeah, if you're going to be in there 5 years, go for it.
Or less, right? And make sure it's less. But hey, your house is you owe nothing on it. And if it tanks, sure, who cares? Like you still know that you're leaving, right? That's how I look at it. So I don't know. The taxes is huge, absolutely huge, because people don't realize that that's not fully calculated into their payment when the mortgage broker gives it to you.
Yeah.
I trust me. I mean, dude, here, prime example. Okay. So I bought one of my complexes, right?
Mhm.
And the old guy was paying $33.50 for taxes. Year one, I was at 9,000, and I'm probably at 11,000 now.
Mhm.
Okay. So he owned it for 39 years. He's like, he was at 3,300 in taxes, and I'm at 4 times that amount. Okay.
Mhm.
Just absolutely insane how much I'm getting royally effed by the government.
Mhm.
And we own the same fucking place.
Mhm.
That's what it gets me. So,
Well, like my mother complains all the time about her taxes at the house in Plainwell.
yeah.
But she doesn't realize that last time that house was sold was 1972.
Yeah.
If I had to, let's say I had to purchase that house now.
Yep.
Oh my God, they would screw me on taxes.
Yep.
But I don't have to because she owns the house.
Yep. And
And when she passes away, I own the house.
it'll be deeded to you.
And when I pass away, well, I'm already on the title.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
And when something happens to my mother, my daughter will go on the title.
Yeah.
So it just passes.
Yep.
Which, if you're smart with your money and you trust your family, that's the way to do it.
Well, let's say, and you're the only child that it could go to. Anyway,
Yeah.
right.
There's nobody to fight for this place.
Right.
It's, my mother's the only kid left because my aunt's passed away.
Yep.
I'm her only child. Caitlin's my only child.
Yep.
Caitlin has no children.
So, it's scary to me, the amount of people that are going to the high end of their budget because they wanted this specific house, and now they don't have the equity into it. They put the 3.5% down. Now the market's starting to slow.
Yeah.
Okay. We're still getting things, but if a house was listed at 300, we've heard of things going for 350, 380, whatever you want to call it, right? We can throw all different types of numbers. Now that house is going to get listed for, they know, hey, and the next one went for 320, whatever, but they're gonna put it in that 340 range, and you might get that 350, but I'm pretty sure you're just gonna settle. Like, you're not gonna get that, oh man, this is 380, and we're gonna keep getting that 380 type of a thing, right? It's not happening right now. People aren't going crazy for these. So, I still hear 10, 15,000 kind of over. I'm not hearing much more like I was. I mean, I was hearing it every day.
It was crazy.
Yep. And, I'm seeing, hey, it's just starting to become a normal. We're going to see things kind of level out for a little bit. And interest rates are keeping people from buying that next tier of a house, right? But, again, I looked at a $500,000 house, and when I got there was already 9 cards on the counter, which means there was at least 9 showings. And I know there was more because I saw it day 2.
Yeah.
When I was on the market, right? So it and that one I know only had 3 offers on it. So,
Well, and I know I'm cheap.
Yep.
Okay. So like when my daughter bought her condo, which her condo is an apartment style condo.
Yep.
On Byron Center and 28th Street. So not a desirable area, not a bad area,
Yeah.
but not desirable by any means. She's bought that place for $132,000, and within a year there was another place around the corner from her that probably wasn't as nice as hers that sold for $160,000.
Yep.
And I think they've come down a little bit. They're probably in the 150 range now, but still they're not worth that.
Well, and you'll find that like condos are some of the first things to lose their value.
Yes.
Right. People don't want to get into them. HOAs start to screw things up a lot. But you'll see the trend, right? So one of the big things you want to get on the topic of is commercial real estate.
Mhm.
Okay. And because we've talked about not balloons, adjustable rates, right? I'm going to let everybody know most, let me be clear on this, most commercial purchases, whether it's a strip mall, whether it's a commercial and residential real estate, counts as 5 units and above.
Mhm.
Most of them are all purchased on balloons. They're hey, 20, 25-year amortization, which means the length of time for you to pay it off. Okay. And you have a 5, 7, maybe a 10-year balloon. Okay. But normally they're 5 to 7 years of an adjustable rate. And so the balloon means, hey, you have to make that full payment of what you owe on it. And everybody's like, oh crap. But again, bank structure, because they know all it really means is an adjustable rate. So, hey, we're going to go in, we'll refinance you for the new rate. And now you have another 5 to 7, still based off of a 20 to 25-year amortization, right? Yep. So, hey, your payment went down and you're paying less on the, less money. So your income is going to pop up and things like that. But, what you're seeing is, okay, so commercial, everybody thought, hey, or they think, I want to own a big building. I want to own multiple units. Okay, great. And honestly, you probably did really well, and you're probably doing really well. But let's say you did the 1% rule and you paid $3 million for a bunch of apartments. Okay. And you got it back when interest rates were 4% for commercial. They were always a little higher than residential real estate. But what happened is you bought it 4 years ago and now your time's coming. Well, guess what? Commercial real estate's up at 8%. Yeah. So you were cash flowing okay, right? Because you did all the work. Now you have to go refi for double the interest rate. And remember how I told you, like, when you refi, you still have the same amortization.
Yep.
So yes, now you've basically hopefully started back at 0, and you have no more way to make more money off this except for charge it to the tenant. But you've already maxed out how much you can get from these people. You've already done all the work that you can. And so now, and banks look at it and go, man, there's no money in this thing. I can't refinance you, pay me my full amount.
Right.
Because I don't want that property anymore. It's not worthy of my money. And so now banks are saying, hey, we just can't refinance you. So private money has to step in, and that's even more expensive. Bunch of random crap. So
which is a lot of what happened in 2008.
Yep.
And that's why people just said, fuck it, you can just foreclose on me. I don't care.
That's exactly right. So notes. It's so a note being called is kind of different than a note coming due. And I guess I should clarify that. So let's say over the course of 5 years, you owe $1 million, you're down to 2.8 million. And these are just stupid numbers off the top of my head. Well, when you go to so if a note becomes due, you owe that 2.8, right? Then now, if we're in that 5-year period and the market took a crap like it did in 2008, well, banks are like, hey, this is going to get really bad really quickly. We lent it to you on this, but like, we don't think that you're going to be able to make your payment. It doesn't matter what they thought. They're like, hey, we want that money back in house. We want all $3 million. We want it back, and we want it back now. So they called a note. They're like, hey, you have 30, 60, 90 days to come up with the amount of money that you owe us. I don't care if you go refi us to somebody else. We're just not willing to take it. So then they call it, and that's how it kind of happened, right? So then you're like, hey, screw it. You can take it because nobody else is going to buy it at this price. So, I think, HELOCs are the same, right? Where they can actually be called, but HELOCs weren't notorious for getting called. That wasn't a big issue. Mortgages can't get called, right? They're written on a 30-year full amortization. They're not allowed to get called. No bank can just say, hey, we want our money right now. And unless it's written under like a commercial policy or something like that. I think when I look at what's happening is exactly that. People bought at low interest rates, thought low interest rates are going to stay. And then now, like, if I go try to buy this for $3 million, well, okay, they bought it for $3 million. They made it worth 4.5 back in those interest rates, but now you're not going to be able to get that because the money doesn't make sense, right? That same payment that was on 3 million is an even higher payment on the 4.5 with the interest rate. So you have to sell it for basically what you owe to try to break even. So now you've done this for just your cash flow. And so that's why, you know, people always think that they're going to make the money on the real estate in the end, but they're not at this moment.
Well, again, the people that made money in the 08 crash were the people that could afford it
Mhm.
with a fixed mortgage.
Mhm. Well, that's if they had jobs still and
Yeah.
did all the did all the right things, you know. So I go back, and I'm not saying I'm God's gift to whatever, but you know, when you're looking at a big house, big purchase like that, everybody's like, "Well, do you want the payment?" Look, between you and me, my payment's not going to be that much different. The only different right now, I'm at a 4% interest, and I can go get a 6.5% interest, but I'm going to put all of my money from my house. I have money. I'm literally going to finance roughly the same amount of money that I have on this. And, you know, we'll kind of wash it out. And so then I'll, you know, sure, my payment will go up a couple $100, right? I'm not talking 1,000. I think when I did the calculation, my payment was going to go up off of what I wanted to put down payment and stuff like that, maybe $300. So it wasn't going to affect my life in the crazy amount. It was just going to kind of be like, all right, hey, this is what it is. So, you know, when I look at things, like if I'm doing a purchase, I'm not going to go 500,000, put 3.5% down and then have just this huge payment. Cause I'm not comfortable with it. That's not who I am. I'm going to put as much down to make myself, hey, I'm not changing my life in much of a way. $300 sometimes affects a lot of people. Like you know, hey, you have to come with an extra $300. Like I've done my calculations enough to where, you know, I can afford $100 a week. Not a big deal.
When we look at things,
Yep.
we look at the payment per month.
Yep.
But we also look at the terms of those payments. It's not like we're just coming from a sales background, because we all sold fucking vacuums. Okay,
Yep.
all three of us. One of the things they always said was, well, what are you comfortable with? How much do you want to spend monthly?
Yeah.
It was never how long were those months going to be for.
Yeah.
It was, could you afford $40 a month to give a nice, clean environment for your family? Do you care about them enough to give them a nice, clean environment? $40 a month.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter that that's for 120 months.
Yep.
Because I don't want you to know that it's for 120 months. I just want you to know it's $40 a month.
$40 isn't that bad.
Yeah, that's going out to eat once.
Yep.
If you could cut back going out to eat one time, could you give
In a month.
your family a safe place to live?
Yep.
And that's the bullshit you get with fucking salespeople.
Yeah. No, it happens when you buy a car, right?
It does. My wife had to buy a car recently.
Yep.
And this idiot, this is the shit that pisses me off. This idiot was basically handed here, you're going to sell this car. It doesn't really fucking matter. They're buying.
Yep.
It just depends on what vehicle. And this person fucked it up every way you could fuck it up, including the terms of the goddamn loan.
Yeah.
And I kept texting her going, listen, bitch. And I didn't say bitch. Listen, I told you 60 months, no more.
Yeah.
Payments will be this, no more.
Yeah.
This is what it will be. Oh yeah, I guess I didn't check that. Stop not fucking checking shit. Because when you send paperwork over, it better be right, or I'm gonna be up somebody's ass.
Yep.
And I kept getting pissed off because paperwork was wrong 3 times. And a lot of people will just go, it's probably right. I'll just sign it. That ain't us. And I know it's not you.
Yeah. No, and it's not me at all. I mean, you know, I want to know exactly what it is, how it is, when it's set. Which, you know, so I'm going to be clear, like when I bought my first ever house, okay, back years ago, you know, let's just say for round numbers, it was $600. Okay. Well, the first year I pay $600 and then all of a sudden,
Escrow gets redetermined.
So like and so then it was
And all of a sudden you're paying $720.
720, 715. I was like, what the shit? Like,
why did my payment go up?
Back then I was like, man, so, but you know, I mean, granted, and then I bought my duplex or whatever. I think I bought that within the first year of having it. So, but like still, so like mine hit even worse than most people because I didn't realize you got a tax break for being the occupancy of that property.
Yes.
I didn't know this. I was young and dumb and stupid. So like mine technically went up to like 800 and something, right? Like I went up $250, $300. I don't remember exactly how much. It was enough to make me kind of shit my pants, right? 'Cause
Right.
I was like, whoa, I'm bringing in like 900 on this thing. And so I'm making like $25, and this other one I'm breaking even. I pay utilities and stuff.
Yep.
And then you start realizing, oh man, I pay water over here, I pay these. So, it's a learning process. Like when I tell you I didn't fail in the beginning, I'm very lucky and very smart. I got educated.
Mhm.
It wasn't really a mistake, but it was something that like, hey, look out for this. So like when I run my numbers, I'm very conservative. I'm very I plan for the worst and hope for the best, right?
Yeah.
Insurance, I just have a great insurance guy. So I make him run my information so that way I know kind of
Mhm.
really exactly what my payment's gonna be. Like I get down to it. I'm like, hey, this is exactly what I estimate. And then I usually add an extra $100 just in case. So I tell people just because you think doesn't mean you actually know, right?
Well, and I would say, I think all three of us, and Mike, correct me if I'm wrong, we're all pretty conservative when it comes to looking at what bills are going to be.
Right. And
Mike's not there.
I
I didn't even look to see if he
I
was
know,
there,
it
but
was,
he is
it was
not
more
there.
fun for me. But
I wondered why you gave me that weird look.
but I can't say like when it comes to medical bills.
Yeah.
I've never once thought, what is this payment going to be? I usually just get hit with a freaking huge bill. And like
Yeah.
some of my stuff has gone to care credits. So, like I feel like I never got the bill.
Mhm.
That's gonna be my excuse. There's no excuses for things, but like, and then all of a sudden it's like, hey, this is your payment, and then it has a grand total, and I just call and get the 20% off type thing because I'm like, I'm already on payments, and you have to accept whatever I give.
Yeah.
That was a David tip, right?
It was a
They
day.
have to accept whatever you're choosing to pay. Like, okay, cool. Like this is what I'm paying you. Good luck.
If they sit there and they go, well, I'm sorry, that's just not enough.
Yeah.
If it ever goes to court, the judge is going to go, well, how much could you afford? Well, I could afford $100,
Yeah.
but they told me I had to pay $3.
Yeah. So,
And I called them and I told them I could only afford 100, and they told me to get fucked.
yep.
And the judge is going to go, well, that sucks for them because now you don't have a debt.
Yep. I'm saying that's right. They and I can't guarantee that's gonna happen every time, but that's
That
a normal.
it does happen.
Yes. Oh, dude, I know a lady who her husband had cancer and it was really bad and it lasted a long, long time, and they got $500,000 in debt, and like they tried coming after her stuff and
Yeah.
suing her, and she made her $100 payments type thing. And the judge, and I swear it was like $1 million is what she was telling me, but I don't want to over exaggerate. But she's like, yeah, I went into the judge and we're like, hey, look, we made what we could. We made payments every time. We did what we could. And the judge is like, huh, all right, so you did all this? Great. You guys want to be this? For the rest of her life, she owes you a penny a month. Or I think it's $1. Honestly, I really think it's $1. So she goes, my check is garnished every week. It might be a week. I don't remember.
Yeah.
Every week or every month. And she goes, $1. And for the rest of my life, out of my Social Security, out of everything, I'm garnished $1 to wipe out that entire debt. And she goes, I don't give a shit. And she goes, because the hospital is coming after every part of their life.
Well, I remember having a $3,000 loan with City Financial.
Yeah.
An arm of Citibank, an arm of JP Morgan.
Yeah.
Actually, I guess that's not JP Morgan because that's shares. Either way. And I sent them $5 because that's what I had.
Yeah.
And they sent it back to me. And I did it twice.
Yep.
And when I filed bankruptcy, I had these checks. And I remember sitting in front of the bankruptcy attorney or judge.
Yep.
And I handed him these 2 checks and he goes, what is this? And I'm like, well, I sent them these and they sent it back. And he goes, oh, so they didn't want your money. And I went, I guess not. And he goes, then I guess you don't have a bill with them, because if they refused your money, that means you don't have a bill. And I went, sweet.
Yep.
I was totally happy about that. By the way, Mike, I threw you a softball question and you weren't there to answer it.
What was it?
we take a look at our money, or we take a look at how much our payment's going to be before we make a purchase.
And we're very conservative when we're budgeting for those things. True.
Yeah, very much.
Yeah. I think it's what 33% of your income can go towards housing expense.
Well, the worst part is there are a lot of people now that are like, oh my God, 50% of my income is going to housing.
Yeah. I mean,
I sent you guys this post that somebody had made going, yeah, I'm looking for a third person to add in on my relationship because we need to have a
thruple.
throuple
Yeah.
because two people can't afford it. We need three incomes.
And I figured that would come up on here, but and so the only thing, you know, because yes, it was a joke of like, hey, three thruples or threesomes are going to be more common because they're going to take three incomes to have a household, and to me, it's just going to lead to the exact same thing that's happening. Sure, that's going to be normalized, and people are like,
Yeah.
it's not going to happen. But like, when I say that, like, I had friends living in my house when I first bought a house, right?
Mhm.
Like, hey, you can go rent that room. My brother lived with me. My friends live with me. Yep, rent the room, rent the room. To me, it was, I didn't even know I was being a landlord at that point, right? It was just like, hey, I'm doing you a favor. You don't know you're doing me a favor,
Right.
but like, you know, sure, here. And yeah, it's just gonna make the prices of everything go up, and people will still do it. So
Well, I sent that picture to you guys of this is what the United States would look like if you put the wealth into
Yeah.
the United States. And the 1% was like California through, I want to say Oklahoma, all the way north.
Yeah.
All of it.
and then something like 9% from the northeast corner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
it was insane. And you're sitting there looking at it going, my God, this is ridiculous.
It was like 20% would own that. The bottom 20% would own that little dot at the bottom. Of
Yeah. Like Austin, Texas or something, right? Like just that one city.
not even that well. I mean, this was at the border, so this is like
Yeah. Let's say, but they would own Grand Rapids, Michigan, and that's it. Right?
yeah, basically.
You know,
Yeah, I'm
Um,
looking
I
for it
need
right
to actually get going. I need to go pick up my son from driver's training.
take care.
now. All right, have fun. So yeah, 1% would own from California to Arizona, then up across
To Minnesota.
up across it looks like to Nebraska,
Yep.
Iowa. Nope, that's not Iowa. So whatever's above Nebraska. Up through Minnesota.
Yep.
9% would owe the entire eastern seaboard down to
Tennessee, Kentucky. Yeah.
it looks like Kentucky.
Arkansas.
Yup, and over through Iowa, up through Michigan and Wisconsin.
Yep.
The bottom
30% would
Yep.
own
would own from
New Mexico,
all the way over to North Carolina.
North Carolina, and Florida, and
And then this
all this
small, tiny pink section at the tip of Texas would be 40%.
and then 20% would own the bottom,
The bottom
the bottom
part of Texas.
Yeah, like Q of Texas, and then a little bit inside that.
And just looking at that, it's like, my God, that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
But you get it.
Well, I mean, and so, I do want to hit on this foreclosure. So we kind of mentioned it a little bit, right? So you're saying, hey, it's going to be from this, okay? But the other thing is, we do know and think that the economy is good, okay? But
Weehoo.
the economy is doing well. Like
It
the
is.
unemployment rate is the
Okay,
lowest.
the unemployment rate is very low.
So people are
But does that mean the economy is doing well? Because again, we talk about what makes the economy.
right,
And that's not, it's something that they talk about.
right. It's
But
a
that
fact.
really doesn't make the economy. Because again, unemployment is just people that qualify for unemployment.
right. Say
It's not people that are not employed.
not employed, right? But what we'll say is, okay, so COVID, they had all of this relief.
Yeah.
Kind of like what's happening with college education. Hey, you know what? You don't have to pay. Hey, you're in a hardship. Cool, we'll let it go. So what I'm seeing is the same thing that happened in like 08 to 2010. It was a 3-year process of,
Mhm.
look, we're going to try to work with you. We're going to try to get through it. Your life has changed. Hey, let's do what we can. A lot of people went and sold and did whatever they had to do, bought different houses. Who knows? But what I'm finding is that you'll a lot of middle management got cut out that people don't realize. Okay. And let's say middle management makes 60 to 80,000 a year, maybe 100, right? I mean,
Depending. Yeah.
but now they don't have that. And so now when they maybe found a different job, the chances were they probably started at that 60, so if you're making 100, you went down to 60, you took what you could get, but like nobody was giving you back to where you were. I mean, yes, there's always going to be the anomalies in the people, but like really you didn't go out and get it, or you became a worker again, right? And you're hourly, you became an hourly and you can go work your overtime and get back to where you need to be. But so these people prolonged their payments, did as much as they can. Well, now it's catching up with people because they didn't take the steps because they thought they could, right? Oh, if I just work really hard, I can get out of this. I can do this. Like we're gonna try. Really, it takes so much to get used to a half pay cut, like.
Well, we talk about these things off air all the time. We're heavily taxed in the United States, but what do our taxes go for?
Right.
Because you look at these other countries and they have free healthcare and they have stipends for poor people and they have free daycare and, food assistance, all these wonderful options that they have for their residents. What the fuck do we have? We have corporate welfare, but what's our taxes going to? It's not helping people that really need help. We talked about it before. When I was dirt ass poor and I needed a hand, they told me to get fucked because I wasn't on drugs.
Mm-hmm.
And, we made just enough money to get by, even though we weren't getting by. We were barely surviving. And, if we actually cared about helping people in this country, we might actually get a little bit ahead. I was talking to Vanessa yesterday about her student debt. And she took out $30,000 and she owes $70,000 and she's been paying on it, except for this pause during COVID, she's been paying on it right along. Why does she owe twice as much as what she took out?
Yep.
And when they talk about student loan forgiveness, we fight about that on here, but they're not talking about, well, I took out $50,000 because I was going to get my degree and I just want all of that forgiven. They're talking about the people that took out $50,000 for their degree and they've been paying all along. And now they owe $100,000, even though they've been making payments for 15 years.
Yeah.
And they've already paid back what they took out plus some interest. Why are they being penalized and basically told, well, you're going to owe until you die? Because that's the only way that debt's going away is when they die.
When you pass, right? I did a quick search on list of how much government people are paid or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
In Canada, which their dollar is really close to ours. Sure, the prime minister makes 270,000, where the president here makes 400K.
Mm-hmm.
But if you look at other countries, so one of the things where our taxes go is to so many government employees, just so many of them, right? And other countries don't have nearly what we have for that aspect of things. And sure, you could say they're smaller, you could say this, but our taxes are constantly going into, and they're creating new jobs, right? It's not like they're getting rid of jobs; they're creating more, so that causes more money. Okay, well then they want to pay increase. Well, how do you get it, right? Through raising taxes.
Well, again, I would say that you and I are pretty similar when it comes to, if you do shady shit and you fuck up,
yep,
you should probably pay for that.
Yep.
But the banks did shady shit for the beginning of the 2000s.
Oh yeah.
And I don't remember anybody paying up. I remember us paying up to bail out banks.
Yep.
And I don't exactly know why we had to support them. Because the last time I looked, if you bounced a fucking check, they charged you $30 for bouncing the check and an extra $8 every day. Plus, not only $30 for bouncing that check, $30 for everything that bounced after that. And they worked it in a way that, let's say you had $50 in your account and you had 10 transactions go through and it totaled $10 and you wrote a $45 check.
Mm-hmm.
They put that $45 check through first and then ran everything else in the highest money amount so that you would bounce multiple things.
Yep. And
they could charge you $30 each time you did. So instead of bouncing one thing, you bounced 4.
Yep.
And you spent $120 plus $8 a day.
And and what I find is you're gonna see that crap happen all the time, right? Mm-hmm. Banks are shady, but the government says, hey, well, you wouldn't have the things you have unless the bank lent you money. Most banks are funded by their people. Credit unions are funded by
credit unions are funded by their members.
Right. The rest of it, right, is people that are getting wealthy. Like I'm not going to go open a bank. I mean, trust me, I do lending, but I'm not going to lend unless I guarantee it. So, like, the problem that we have in America is having the ability to hear the word no.
Mhm.
Okay. Like, I want this. Good. No.
The customer is always
Right.
right.
But that's not true. You know,
No,
like,
it's not.
and the
Most of the
fact
time, everybody's wrong.
so, like, if banks started saying no, guess what? Then we can't have these houses getting bought. We can't have all of this. Yeah, you can tell me till you're blue in the face, but the fact is, like, these are facts. These are statistics. Like, hey, if we just cut and said, hey, this is what it is, you know, I can't think of it. What's the two biggest FHA ones?
Freddie Mac and Fannie Mac.
Fannie Mae, yeah, right. Like, if they learned how to cut their stuff and just say, hey, this is the new qualifications, you go back and look at this and say, hey, how many foreclosures are we having? And if it's 1%, sure, don't fix it, right? But if we're having a higher rate of this, like, stop allowing it.
When I talked to Vanessa yesterday, you know, she was asking about the peer-to-peer lending sites.
Yeah,
And I just took another $100 and threw it into Prosper.
there you go.
And I told her what I was looking for when I look at credit worthiness of these loans that I'm going to fund.
Yep.
I look at A, how much revolving debt do they have? B, what are they looking for? You know, what are they going to use this money for? What is their job and how much do they make? And how many delinquencies?
Right.
So they may have a shitty credit score, but if they have no delinquencies and they're looking for $10,000 and let's say they owe 12 and they make 80,000 a year, yeah, I'm going to take a chance on that loan because not only is it going to pay me 25 or 6%,
Yep.
but they're probably going to pay that because they don't have delinquencies. So I know they pay their bills. They just overextend themselves.
Yep.
And looking at it from a purely shark type point of view, I'm looking to make money on this.
Well, and you and I both know that the people that are using that, like, David, how would you find out about that?
I would find out about that in two ways. One, I'm dead fucking broke and I need a lifeline.
Mhm.
Or B, I'm looking to invest. I found it because I'm looking to invest.
And so the only way, like, you know, and I guess maybe it's the same as I'm looking for a lifeline, but, like,
Mhm.
it's also the person that says, hey, I have a problem. I'm going to try to fix it. And so is there something out there that can help me fix this? Right. So, like, you're actually working on trying to get yourself in a better position. Right?
And you don't necessarily want to take another credit card or
I can't tell you that
take a
there's,
loan.
I can't tell you that the people that are on there, because I don't think that the average, I don't know how to say it politically, right? Like, the average cash business owner that is doing this is hopping onto this type of a thing, right? Where they can't track any credits and they can't, you know, yeah, there's going to be some people that are going to scam and do whatever they can, right? Because they're like, hey, my credit's hurt and I don't care. But, like, really, it's going to be the people that are trying to do this. And in there, right, there's a little bio about them. Like, hey, this is what it is. Exactly. No delinquencies, right? So, like, you're paying your bills. You're just, you bought something stupid and it's too high of an interest and you want to just try to refi it.
Yeah, you want to get rid of these things.
Yep.
Or you had a payment come up that you didn't know. Home improvement's a big one on there.
Yep.
You know, like when I needed a new roof, I looked into a HELOC because you and I talked and you're like, yeah, looking to take in a HELOC. And a HELOC was going to be like 3.5%.
Yep.
And I finally just went to my kid and I'm like, listen, if I borrow 12,000, I'll pay you the 3%. Can I borrow the money from you? And she's like, yeah, I don't care.
Yeah.
So I paid her the 3% instead. I saved myself 0.5%.
Yep.
And I technically paid her more than I needed to because I paid it as if I took it out for 3 years, but I only needed it for 2.
Sure. See, and that's, I wouldn't have, right? Like, I mean, but granted, you're just investing her money for her anyway, so it's not like it's a big deal. But had it been from me to you, I would not have expected it to be for the full 3. You might have done it as like, hey, I told you it was going to be 3. If we wrote in a contract, hey, no matter what, 3 years, I hope you pay it early, right? But like, but you know, mine's usually written as, hey, guaranteed this amount of rate. Everything else after that, that's my profit.
Well, and I told Vanessa with every loan I funded on Prosper, all of them have paid off early. All of them.
Yeah.
And there's no penalty to do it. I mean, they just pay it off early and I make less money.
Well, and I think a lot of what happens is, okay, so you're not in the credit problem. I mean, you might have been in the spot, but like, So if you ever go buy if you're really in shitty credit, for anybody listening, okay? So when you go try to buy a car, they're gonna get you for like 22% interest, 25% interest, right? Car City,
Best Buy used cars.
Best Buy used cars, right?
If you're in Grand Rapids, you know these companies.
Yeah, like right, they're gonna. Oh man, well,
JD Byrider.
we can get you financed. Come on down, right? Like if you're guaranteed approval, you're gonna be getting.
Yeah,
But
and it's only
here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna sell you a 1997 Mercury Sable for $12,000. It's got 190,000 miles on it, but you'll go down the road. Wait, but if you make your payments of 6 months, maybe a year, we're gonna bring you back in. We're gonna get you refinanced, and you'll make your payment for another 6 months. Then we can get you into a different car with lower rate. Wait, you're gonna trade in that 97 Sable? Man, that thing's worth $600. Oh, you still owe 13,000. Tell you what, I'll roll that over into this. Now that your interest rate's only 18%, 14%, you can afford more cars, so you're fine.
and not only that, we're not going to charge you monthly.
Yeah.
We're going to charge you weekly.
Weekly.
It's only $120 a week.
Yep.
You can afford $120 a week. That's nothing.
Yeah. I say.
But nobody's sitting there doing the math going, that's
480
400. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nobody's sitting there going, oh my God, I'm paying $500 for a fucking 20-year-old car.
The reason I say this about a 97, so this is this happened
Yeah.
to my family member. I was driving around a 97 Mercury Sable and I was like, man, I have all of those parts on that car warranted. Let's go take a look at that one.
Yeah.
It literally was $12,000. And I told the person, I was like, dude, just buy mine for fucking 12 grand. I'll tell you, I'll sell it to you for 6, right? Because
Right.
like I was selling them off market, right? For like, I don't know, 3 grand, right? Because like I'd buy them for dirt cheap. And I went through 7 between Ford Tauruses and Mercury Sables. My wife and I drove 7 of them. Okay. And I promise you, I had every part of that thing warranted, right? Like brakes, shocks, all of it. And say those, and I was like, that blew my mind. And I was like, no, screw that. I would rather go pay cash for a car and have you pay me back.
Yeah.
Because I was like, and then they ended up with a Grand Prix, and it was decent rates type thing, and it was a much better car type, had less than 100,000. It was still high interest, and I was like, the interest is on you, but the actual car value was kind of better because it was newer. And this is back in like 2010, so I think this was like a 2002, 2003 Grand Prix. I don't remember, so it wasn't that old, and it was but it was like kind of fair, but like the interest rate was like, I'm like, dude, that's on you. We can go pay cash, but I don't want to because you screwed me over on a different payment before, and I don't have that money sitting
Right.
around right now. I remember not having $7 grand in my bank account. Now I'd probably shit myself.
Well, I remember like JD Byrider was big with this.
Yeah.
They'd send out the postcards and you win, whatever's on the postcard. And they were so stupid. And I'm just calling it like it is. They were so stupid. The smallest prize on their postcard was a $5 bill.
Yeah.
So you'd take in the postcard and you win something, but the least you would get is a $5 bill.
Yeah.
And I did that 2 or 3 times. And they're like, but don't you want to look at a car? I'm like, no, I just
No.
want my $5.
Just $5.
I'm here literally just for the $5.
Mhm.
Tell me that's what I won. Hand me a $5 bill and I'll be out of your hair.
Yep.
And they would get so pissed. They only did it 2 or 3 times and then they got rid of that. And it was, at that point, it was like a reading flashlight or some shit,
Yeah.
That way you can read in the dark.
Yeah.
I don't want your fucking, give me the $5.
Yep. Insane.
That's the only reason I come here.
No, and so, but so I guess getting back to it is, when you look at where we're headed with all of the foreclosures that are going to be happening, I mean, they are starting to happen, right?
They are.
So being a real estate investor, I have more knowledge because I've taught myself and learned. There are so all bank information, as much as you think, this isn't a HIPAA fucking thing, okay? I could go figure out everything about you, David.
Yes.
Like
It's not protected at all.
in any way, shape, or
Nope.
form, right? Within a few dollars types, it doesn't matter, right? But like I could tell you how much you owe on your house. I can get this information. How much do I want to dig? How much do I actually care? Well, I can also say, hey, there's a pre-foreclosure kind of out there. I can pull a list that says, hey, you're 45 days behind on payments. guess what? You're struggling, right? So I can go and say, hey, let me see what I can do to help this, right? I can also pull and say, hey, you're over the age of 60, you've lived in your house for 30 years, and your house is paid off. I can pull that. Hey, and I'm going to call you, hey, real estate investor. I'm interested in purchasing another house. Have you ever thought about selling? 90% of them, no. Well, we were talking about it. Great. Do you want to go to Florida? Where are you headed? Are you going to Arizona? Are you a Florida or Arizona kind of person, right? That's where sales Nick comes into play, right? But
At that point, you're selling a dream.
100%. We got so much crap. We don't even know where to start with this. Tell you what if I made this what do you mean make it easy for me? Look, I'm gonna come over. I'm gonna give you a cash offer. Okay. Full cash. And, the best thing I'm going to do for you, because you have so much crap. Why don't we'll walk around together. You put a little, sticky note on the things that are the most important to you. And I'll make sure you take those. Okay. And then everything else that you don't want, you guys can move to the basement, move to the living room. I don't care.
Just
That's
leave
the
it
stuff
for me.
I'm going to take care of. You'll do that? Hell yes. All day I'll do that for you. Oh, that'd be amazing. Cause we've, 30 years in here and we've got so much shit. My husband never throws anything away. Yes, ma'am. You're talking to my wife here in about 20 years, right? Husband never throws anything away. And I was like, trust me.
When I drop dead, my wife's going to call you and you're going to be like, oh, I know he wouldn't get rid of anything. You can leave all those boxes of paper. I will take all of them.
All of it. Right. And say, but it's just figuring out what they need. Right. So, and again, my point is I can find information. Okay. There's nothing hidden in this world, right? I mean, for the most part, you can hop on Zillow and see what somebody bought a house for.
Yeah.
So just know, and my stack of foreclosures has been on a weekly basis, let's just say, just in a small little area that I'm looking, I'm going to say roughly 15 to 20 a week. So that's 80 a month that are in pre-foreclosure, right? Sheriff sales, which is a foreclosure process. You have 6 months to redeem aspect. I'm seeing sheriff sales happen every week. They're firing off. People are getting foreclosed because once the gavel goes down, it says sold. That's a foreclosure. Okay. That's officially when it happens. I try to get to people before that happens. So that way they can go get financed. That way they can go do anything. I made a post about it like, hey, I'm here to help because yeah, you might be screwed on this little deal, but you don't need to be screwed in forever. And, things to help people that are like, oh, that's predatory. No. It's helping, right? The other thing I do is, let's say you're getting towards that sheriff sale date. Great. Let's close this before then. You don't have it. Here's what I'm going to do. Did I get it at a discount? You bet your sweet ass I did. Okay. But I'm going to let you stay there for a month, 2 months, right? I don't know the most I've ever given anybody. It doesn't fucking matter. But, I'm going to give you
Get
time.
their affairs in order.
You know what? Here, now you have the money. You're moving out in month 2. Go find an apartment. Go buy a different house. Go do whatever you got to do. The fact is you're still approved for this type of thing. Go get your life together. And I'm going to give you the time to do it. Oh, man, really? Yeah, of course. Like, that's why I can do what I do, right? Because I'm yes. Am I going to make money? Yes. That's the benefit of it. I'm also there to help, right?
Well, one of the things that led us into this conversation today was Elon Musk basically saying that commercial real estate is dying and residential real estate's not far behind it. And, I wanted to delve into that for a minute. So, ever since COVID, companies have figured out that I would say roughly 70% of their work can be done from home. And workers aren't willing to necessarily commute an hour, 2 hours into a job anymore. I know for me, I've been fully remote since 2011. So that's 12 years. It's a 30-minute drive for me into the office. That's an hour a day. That's 5 hours a week. I'm not looking to give up 5 hours out of my week to sit in a car. I'm just not.
Yep.
And then to get into an office so somebody can stare at me and decide if I'm actually working or not really working very hard. I don't need that in my life. So I basically said, I'll never work in an office again. I'm one of these Gen Xers that, is very much, even though I'm old, I'm very much younger than what I portray, because the younger workers are like, yeah, that's bullshit. I'm not doing that.
Yeah. See, and I'm complete opposite. Right?
Yeah,
Like,
you're
I'm
very old and you don't mind going places.
No, and I will, right? Like, yeah,
Well,
so these buildings aren't being used.
Well, and especially in the big cities.
Oh, correct.
So they have, these huge office buildings that have, let's say 80 floors, and they're 75% empty. And mayors are like, well, you have to come, bring your employees back to work, because they have to justify the costs on those big ass buildings.
Yep.
Now, in Grand Rapids, not as big of an issue. I mean, if I lived in Chicago, I would fully expect whatever job I have is probably going to tell me you need to drive your ass back into the office, realizing it's going to be a 2.5 hour commute.
Yeah.
And at that point, I'm probably going to find a new job that's not in Chicago.
And when you look at this, and I thought about it the other day, because I'm me, it's a difference. Okay, so who's on the top? The top floor, the 80th floor, overlooking everything.
Yeah, it's the CEOs.
Okay. And then you have below that, right? So like every tier below it is sure. So you have a secretary of these people, but like the lower you are, the lower you pay you are, right? I mean, this is just straight up a pyramid that happens to be. But when you're working from home, who are you competing with? Nobody, right? Like you don't know who's above you. You don't, and sure, there's people who need that social interaction like me. But the fact is right, like you're gonna be just as productive because you're gonna do your job, and you're gonna and the companies, what I think they're realizing, because we see it a lot in TikToks and we see it in things. Well, hey, Jan's gone. Can you cover this? Well, now you can't ask that because they're not in the office, right? Well, oh, hey, and sure, an email can go out. Hey, just let you know your counterpart's not going to be here. I'm going to need you to do this. Okay, great. Or, hey, no, I don't know how to do that. I wasn't trained on this, right?
Good managers can handle that. Like when I tried to die 2 years ago, Christy can't do 100% of what I do, but she can do 80% of it. She's going to be out in a couple of weeks for her son's surgery. I can't do 100% of what she does, but I can do 90% of it.
Yep. And so, you look at it and say, hey, so a lot of people will say, oh, my production has gone up. Look, yep, your numbers will say this. I don't know where the hell you're pulling your numbers from, because God knows, I don't know. I mean, granted, it's one of the reasons I quit a job, because they started making me write down what I did all day and every day. And
oh my God, when we were in the office, we had to do that all the time.
No thanks. Right? Like, if you want to micromanage me, I'm not going to fucking micromanage myself, right?
I was literally one of the people that would go, it took me 25 minutes today to write down all the dumb shit I did.
No, so, and like, honestly, at the end of all of my excerpts, it'd be like, oh, I jumped on my high-low. Oh, I put the high-low in drive. I fastened my seatbelt. I put the high-low in drive. I turned my lights on. I honked my horn. I looked backwards. I went into the thing. I grabbed a skid. I set the skid down.
Malicious compliance.
Oh, 100%. And then I like at the end of it, I'd write, oh, took 3 minutes to write the last 6 things.
Yeah.
Now back to what I do the next one. And then like, you don't have to write that. You could just write, a high-low for this amount of time. No. You asked me what the fuck I did. No. We're not going to be generic. No.
I'm going to give you literally everything.
Well, so, and then the next day, right? So they're like, oh, you're going to do this. So they're like, you could just write this. So I handed in a fucking paper and I got my ass chewed for it. And on it, I just wrote worked and just handed the fucking thing in. And they're like, why are you being difficult? And I was like, I'm not. You're being difficult. You gave this to me. Can you pop your head out of the office and see that I'm fucking doing my job? Well, we just want to know what you're doing. Can you pop your head out of the office? Has anybody said the fucking job isn't done? And like, I would say fuck to my bosses. Like, right. I always was the person that like wouldn't, like, if you're going to question me, you better have fucking answers too, because I'm going to ask back. This wasn't a fucking one-sided thing. And so, I just got so fed up with it. I was like, I don't fucking need this. Have a good day. Bye. And walked out. And it was a great day of my life. But yeah, the first one was just so fucking detailed. Second one was just worked. Just one line right in the middle.
I remember the last boss that I had issues with.
Yeah.
I made her cry. Not because I was mean. Yeah. Not because I cursed. But because for 28 minutes, I told her how ineffective of a boss she was.
Nice.
And I was very nonchalant about the whole damn thing.
Yeah.
And after 28 minutes, she was in fucking tears because she was a shitty boss. And I detailed it in such a way that there could be no confusion. There could be no argument. It was just, wow, I really do suck at this. And that was the last time anybody tested me at work because I know what I'm doing.
Yep.
And I'm really fucking good at it. So you can sit there and try to micromanage me all you want, but it's probably not going to work out the way you think it is.
That was my favorite. And, you know, I am a fan, especially if I own a business, I want the employee. But, you know, there's, if you have time to do whatever, you have time to sweep.
Yeah.
Or you have time to wipe down counters or whatever. And then I realized I wasn't hired for that.
Right.
So like, I didn't know that this was a thing that people like,
they say that shit all the
but
time.
like now, like but I just did that, right? I'd go sit on the computer. Nick, what are you doing? I'm searching Zillow. Is that what we do during work hours? That we don't. I do. Like,
Right.
I mean, I don't think anybody else here owns fucking more than one house. Like, and well, go sweep, go do. Why? There's a guy that hops on a fucking Zamboni and drives around. Yeah, but we shouldn't make it his job.
But that's literally
Well,
his
that's-
job.
Like, what are you talking about? You can't be doing that. What does that say to all the other employees? That they didn't do their job fast enough? Like, what do you want me to say? Like,
I'm even more efficient than they are. They should learn how to work like Nick.
so right, like here's a little side thing. So I'm in high school, and I somehow got with like 3 of my best friends in the same class.
Yeah.
Okay. Like that is a fucking problem for this teacher. He ended up being a really awesome teacher. But we're standing up and I'll give names and he'd be like, all right, we're gonna talk about grades. Let me know if you don't want to hear your grade out loud. All right, Ryan. Yep. 26% F. Zach. Yep. 26% F. James. 12% F. Nick. Yeah. 86%. Like, what are you doing? And I was like, dude, you think I talk to them, but I do because like I just get my fucking work done and then talk.
Right.
They just talk. And I'm like, I know how to do my shit. And then right, like there's a rule with my family because we're all kind of hands-on people or whatever. You don't crack a beer while you're working on stuff. You crack a beer when you're done working. And people, oh, you drink, blah, blah, blah. No, if I'm done working, you'll know because I have a beer in my hand. Like, sure, have I cracked a beer while doing a tire? Yeah, that tire change probably took me 16 hours to fucking do. But if I actually have to get out and NASCAR this thing, I'm not cracking a beer and doing this. I'm doing the damn job and getting it done with. So, yeah, people don't understand. I just do my job.
We're going to talk about what kind of assholes you and I are. And
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you a first grade story. I'm in first grade. I'm taking a math test in Mrs. Hawk's class. Okay. And I wrote down all the answers. I did none of the math, mind you. It was like, 8 plus 12. And I'd write down 5.
Yeah.
I just wrote down answers on the entire test. I got the test done in like under 2 minutes.
Yeah.
It was record time. And she never gave it back to me. She called my mother. And she showed my mother.
Yeah.
And my mother looked at it and she brought it to me and she goes, David, what did you do? I said, I answered the questions. She goes, but they're all wrong. Me, being a 6-year-old smartass, I know how to add. You know I know how to add. The teacher knows I know how to add. Why do I have to do it? This is stupid.
Yeah.
And my mother looks at me and goes, I know how to save that man's life. You know I know how to save that man's life. I'm just going to leave him sitting there. And I go, Mom, that's not right. You can't do that. She goes, right. Just like you can't just sit there and write down anything you want to write down. Take the test, do it the right way, and get the right answers.
Yeah.
But of course, I'm a little asshole at 6, and I'm like, I know how to do this, and everybody else knows I know how to do this. Why do I have to prove it?
Yep.
Because I was very analytical back then, too. And I'm like, this is dumb.
Yeah.
Everybody knows 8 plus 12 is 20. Why do I have to write it down?
Yep.
Fuck you.
I say my brain didn't think that way because it was like you always said that, hey, show your answer, show how you got the work. What? Like, okay, how do I draw my head with a big thing that says thinking? All right, 8 2, that equals 10, 0, put that out 20, right?
Right.
Like, what the fuck? Like, no, how did, like, I can't draw that. Like,
Right.
I just know that, okay? Like, that's how I know it.
That was me with algebra. I didn't know how to get to any answers. They were just
I
right.
just knew the answers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And my teachers would be like, well, you have to show your work. I don't know how.
Yeah. Right.
What do you mean you don't know how? I don't know how. I just know that's the answer.
Again, here's a head, here's a little
Yeah.
loop thing, brain's spinning, and boom.
That's the worst
Yeah.
part when you have intelligent people.
Yeah.
Because they know what they're doing, but they don't necessarily want to do it your way.
Yeah. So, you know, I know we've tangented quite a bit, but to me, what I see happening again, I just want to reiterate
Yeah.
with this real estate market, I really think that we're going to see a settle. Okay. Will there be opportunities to buy cheaper properties? Sure, but like they're still going to be valued at what they're like. We're not going to get the 50 cents on the dollar right now.
Right.
Okay? We're not going to get these banks to do short sales necessarily because things are still appraising at these
Mhm.
amounts. Okay. So sure, foreclosure will happen, sheriff sale will happen. They'll take whatever they choose for that. And you know, so if you have cash, go do that. But like otherwise, you're going to really just pay what it's going to get listed, right? And then offers will come in at that point. But
Yeah, if you're looking at a $200,000 house, you're not getting it for 150.
I mean,
You might get it for 195,
right.
but you might get it for 210.
And so, you know, and they're gonna, you know, the reason things are sitting right now is because of people like you.
Mhm.
Okay. So the people who just said, hey, I don't want to buy right now. I also don't know how to fix a fucking thing.
Mhm.
And and so then they go in and they're gonna be like, okay, hey, this place needs some work. Okay, great. Now I can get it for 200 and I'll just live with it with stupid shit going on. But you know, really, you're not gonna see that type, like, you know, if it needs a crap ton of work, a flipper's gonna get it for 50 cents on the dollar, you know, 10 cents on the dollar, whatever it is. So you know, I just think that right now we're in this let's wait again, right?
Mhm.
Same thing I said when we were going into June, right? If the debt ceiling didn't get taken care of, then we'll be concerned. There is foreclosures happening. So yes, is there things that you can get? And everybody, oh, I want to buy a foreclosure. But you have to be the first person. You have to hope that it's not in a hot area to buy a foreclosure. Because when the bank puts it on the market, it goes on the market. Everybody has the opportunity.
Yeah.
Sure, your bidding wars will happen. And again, how much work are you willing to put into these? Because you know, I haven't really heard of too many malicious foreclosures so far. Knock on wood. But you know,
Well, and talk about that. What is a malicious foreclosure?
well, I mean, you know, these people when they were losing everything, right? They got angry, so they poured concrete down toilets. They poured concrete down their sinks. They
Stole all the fixtures,
like, dude, fucking
pulled
pipe.
out copper pipes,
Right, like
and scrapped them.
I can scrap the electrical wire.
Mhm.
Like they just put holes in wall. You know, I did a photo of one and every back of the toilet was broken. And I think it was a 3-bedroom house. I was like, what? Like, how do you break all of them? How do you,
Mhm.
and you just, right? You have, so think about the drunken rage that some of these people have. Like they literally just go out and, hey, let's just party it up. Right. And everything, broken windows. And, you know, so then they don't realize because they didn't sign a personal guarantee. So, hey, yeah, I have a $400,000 house and now the bank has to sell it for 150. Good luck getting that money. Good luck with your next purchase, right?
Right.
Like if you're smart, you did it after you already bought your next house and they can't do anything about it. But there's so many different things.
Well, and I had somebody that I worked with that moved
Yep.
to a different state. And this was not long after the crash. And they couldn't sell their house for what it was worth.
Yep.
And they already had a house in the new state.
Yep.
So they just let the bank take it
Same.
because they didn't give a shit.
Yep. And I had a guy I worked with, exact same thing. He's like, yeah, we're just gonna let that one go. I hate the area, I hate it, whatever. And I was like, some shady shit. But
We were
like,
going to do that with Aunt Sue's house.
really,
Yeah, we were letting it go. And the only reason we didn't is because Matt came to us and he's like, hey,
outline
w-
contract.
yeah, would you let me buy Aunt Sue's house on a land contract? And we were like, yeah, but you got to bring the payments up to date now. Because at that point, she was like 2 months behind.
Yeah.
Because we didn't care. We were just letting it go.
Yep. Well, and that's the purchases that I do, right?
Mhm.
The people that are 2 months behind, I step in and say, hey, great, yep, I'll write this check right now. You have to sign this. That says it's mine, right? Um, and that's exactly what I do, right? So I do the same thing that Matt did, except for Matt's living in it, right? And
We'll see. And at that point, we didn't care because she was dying.
yeah,
I mean, if you would have come to us and said, "Hey, I'll give you what it's you owe on it,"
Yep.
which at the time was like 96,000,
I just said okay.
we would have been like, "Yeah, have it."
So right, and that was a trailer in the middle of nowhere with some
Yeah, it
land.
was a modular on property, and you couldn't deed the actual building because it was a modular.
Yeah.
So there's no deed to the building. There's just a deed to the land.
Right.
So it was a nightmare for her to even get financed for in the first place, which is why Matt's doing a land contract.
Yep. So, and so I guess what's your opinion? I mean, what do you think that the real estate market's going to turn to? What is it doing?
I mean, I think we're going to see a little bit of flatness here. It's probably going to go down 1% or 2% from where it's been.
Sure.
I don't think it's going to be anything drastic like 2008, 2009. I think that, yeah, we'll see some foreclosures, but for the most part, the economy's not terrible right now. I mean, it's not great, but it's not terrible. Inflation's come down for the last 12 months, every month.
Yep.
The problem we have is, everything is just so expensive because of the corporate greed. So I think that, yeah, we're in a cooling off period, but for the most part, people are still going to buy houses.
Oh yeah.
That's not going to change. It's not like 2008 or 2009.
They're still able to get financed. I mean, people
Yeah.
are working, right? People are working and they're able to get financed.
Yeah.
Back then you weren't able to.
Well, again, we talk about movies every once in a while on here. We talk about trading spaces because we're trading places because we love it so much,
Yeah.
and how that will really teach you, how the market works and buying things on.
Margin.
Yeah, thank you.
Yep.
I couldn't think of the word. If you want to see a great housing movie, The Big Short's phenomenal for explaining the 2008 crash. Seen it many, many times. It really kind of breaks down, what the banks were doing and what the government did to bail them out. I don't think we're going to see anything catastrophic. I'm not sure you and I will live through another great recession like we did in 2008. I think we'll have small recessions like we did in the 80s and, early 90s.
And so it's always going to ebb and flow, right?
Yeah.
And I guess we're talking about so what I'm seeing in rentals currently, not much is changing, right?
Mhm.
Things are still filling. Areas aren't going up as much, but I think areas have gotten to that up part already. So like our low is going to come later, right? It's going to take quite a bit to get there. So I don't want to put dates on it, but I mean, we're talking over a year, or we're talking because, hey, 2,500 for this place. Look, sure. Now they've not 25. Yeah, it didn't happen, or it did happen. It took that landlord 4 months to rent it for 2,500 and they found the great person. Well, when things kind of go, sure, now they're just going to list it for 23. If I just said 24, like 23, it'll go faster. They're like, you know what? $100 isn't worth my 4 months worth of waiting. I could guarantee it at 23, get it gone within the month. I've now saved myself $7,200, right? And that's what people don't understand. There's things like, hey, it's just, no, you got to feel it out and see what it's going to do. Sure, some people are like, hey, I have to get this, but like really, even if you're at 22, I mean, again, we're saving ourselves $7,200 from having it sitting.
Yeah.
So we know, like, kind of, we're thinking, hey, we pushed, they pushed, and they're gonna see, hey, this is where we are, right? So when it comes to real estate, rentals, I really think you're gonna start seeing an area, like if you know an area, you're kind of going to know your numbers of where you're going to be. You're not going to see this one get rented for 25 and the next person go for 32, right? Because I tell people, some asshole's going to do it for 32 because they really want to be there,
Right.
and there's one available there. Now you're going to start seeing, hey, you know what? It took a little time. I'm just, I'm fine with just getting $3,000. I'm fine with getting 28, like whatever it is. So I just think you're going to see this mellow across the whole time.
Well, I mean, we see that in every facet of business. Like, Dawn just dropped prices here.
Yeah.
So she decided for the summer that there's no increased price on Friday and Saturday.
Mhm.
You know, you pay $10 more per package on Friday and Saturday.
Oh, do you?
Not in the summer. It's just going to be Thursday or Sunday through Thursday pricing.
Yep.
Which, you know, that's great if you're looking to save some money. And we do that because we're not as busy in the summer.
Yeah.
People don't want to be inside.
Oh, dude. I mean, every bowling alley does it, right?
Right.
I mean, I was very proud of I just seen a bowling alley. Like, hey, if you want to come in and get some practice from this time till close, and it was like 8 hours of bowling, like $8.
Yeah.
Just come on in and do it. I was like, man, like that's what it should, because
That's awesome.
you go to a bowling alley and it's like $4 or $5 a game, and you're like, dude. I mean, granted, if it's different when you're, and that's the whole thing that people don't understand is like when you go well 1, maybe 2 games.
Yep.
When I as a bowler go,
You're there for hours.
all right, I'm working on so much. I'm gonna bowl. Bare minimum on bowling is probably like 4 to 10 games, right? Like
How many lanes?
usually 2, but I'm fine with taking up 1. When I'm just going to practice, I'm fine with taking up 1.
Well, and I remember having a daughter that bowled.
Oh.
She would go to softball practice Sunday morning, and then she'd go to the bowling alley, and she had to rent 2 lanes because she needed to play that pattern on each lane.
Yep.
And that was, to me, I'm like, that's crazy. And she's like, no. This is what I have to do to get better. And I just trusted her, and she was right.
No.
Because, you know, when you're bowling, you're never bowling on the same lane.
Right.
You don't just bowl on 12.
No.
You might bowl on 11 and 12.
When you're competition bowling.
Yeah, and if you're in a huge tournament,
Mhm.
you might bowl on 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16,
Yeah,
and then go back to 1.
you'll bowl it all.
These things happen, so you need to play the pattern on everything. And it's the same thing in, you know, business or in housing. You have to know what you're doing
Mhm.
if you want to do it intelligently, if you want to do it, you know, in a way that will benefit you. Because again, in sports, we're looking what will benefit us, what makes us better.
I mean, every sport, right? Every sport technology is coming in, right? Like golf balls are being driven farther than they ever have because golf balls are being created different, drivers are being created different. I mean, club faces, everything, they're pushing all the limitations on this, right? Lighter weight, heavier, all this type of stuff is happening. You know, you can set your club up to help you draw the ball for, you know, there's so many things that you can do. Bowling, right? Cover stocks, all that, you know, swimming, right? I mean, they came up with a freaking hair, a hair thing, right? I mean, lightweight swimsuits that have the water flow through it a heck of a lot better, so it eliminates drag. Like everything that's out there, right?
I have an Oculus. You know what an Oculus is?
Is that the
It's a VR machine.
yeah, there you go.
I have an Oculus. You can have we'll say game, but an app that will simulate hitting.
Yeah.
Where you can sit there and, you know, hit off a live pitching with a fucking VR machine.
Yeah.
And you can get 1,000 swings in your living room.
Hmm.
And those are things when my kid played that was like in Star Trek. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That shit didn't happen. But that's where we're getting to nowadays. I mean, technology is furthering everything.
Yep.
You know, and it's helped finances so much. If you're paying attention and you want a great amount of information, it's literally at your fingertips all the time. I mean, you're sitting there with your phone in front of you right now. All the information is at your fingertips.
Oh yeah.
I was looking at Caitlin's investments today, and something I bought for her, I don't remember what it was, but I bought it during the pandemic.
Yep.
And I want to say I bought like 5 stocks, and it's gone up like $900.
It's insane.
And I'm like, holy shit, that was a great buy.
Yep.
And literally, all I did was research high dividend paying stocks, and that's one of the ones I bought for.
And it's I had to think, sorry. Yeah, my stocks are doing very well.
Yeah.
Right now.
Well, right now we just had, I want to say the S&P has now entered a bull market,
Okay.
which it was the last index to enter. I think it was the S&P. So I mean, we're at a point where stocks are going up.
Yep. Which means people are having some money to spend. Right?
Yep. They're
Um,
confident in the dollar, and they're gonna invest.
Yep. And of course, I mean, right. And so I guess, was there any other questions that you had on real estate, specifically?
No, I think we hit a lot of great information here. I mean, we did go off on some tangents, but it was applicable tangents, I would say.
Yeah, and again, we're not, I don't know if you can be a certified real estate expert. I
Yeah.
think that's called a realtor, but they're
Probably.
I'd say, but like, I'm not telling people to go buy things. I'm not telling you, but like, just be educated on your purchases, right? If you're feeling, hey, this is going to cost me too much, don't take that risk, because, don't think your house is going to appreciate. And I've said this since I was in the beginning.
Mhm.
Don't count on appreciation ever. Even though houses were going up, I never counted on appreciation. It's one of the, I guess I say that, but like, the house I'm officially closing on Thursday, right? Like, you can call it appreciation. I didn't get I got what I thought I was going to get, which broke my heart, because like, I watched everybody else around me getting it, getting the appreciation. Like, don't count on it. Don't do whatever. Like, I'm sure I'm not upset by it. I'm just not happy about it. Right. Like, I'm not going to walk out of there and go, hey, I'm going away for a month.
Well, again, when Caitlin was looking at a house, I remember talking to Scotty and I'm like, what if the market crashes? And he said to me specifically, all right, when did you buy your house? I said, well, I bought my house in 2007. He goes, well, the market crashed. What did you do? Well, I paid my mortgage, because that's what you do. And it's not, my money situation didn't change because we were in a recession. I mean, yeah, my money didn't go quite as far as it did before, but I'd already done all the numbers. I knew I could make my mortgage every month. So for me, it wasn't a big deal. I was just going to keep paying my mortgage as it was written. And when we were looking for a place for my daughter, he goes, okay, so she buys a place. Let's say the market crashes. What's she going to do? Well, she's going to pay her mortgage. He goes, then again, I don't know why you care so much, because if the market crashes, you guys aren't looking to sell right now. It's not something where you need to get out of it. You're going to keep paying your mortgage. And when you don't want to pay that mortgage anymore, hopefully you're in a spot where you can sell it for way more than what you owe on it. And I mean, with her, she's paid down a decent amount of her mortgage right now. I mean, I bought my house in 2007 at 132,000. I think I owe about 85,000 on it now, and I had refied to a 15-year mortgage right tail end of the pandemic, tail end of 2020. And I'll have that 15-year paid off in probably 11 or 12, because I don't want to keep that loan or anything. And again, it always goes back to, with us, if you know what type of investor you are, you've already looked at these scenarios, you know what you're going to do. So you're not necessarily looking to, like Nick said, buy a house for 10 cents on the dollar and flip it later. Hey, I'm going to buy this house. I can afford this on it. And hopefully I can sell it for more than what I'm paying for it later. With him, obviously that's his goal for a lot of his houses, but if not, he knows he can rent them and make that money up in that aspect.
Yeah. Well, and let me ask you this question, because you are an investor.
Mhm.
Okay. I would say we're above average investors.
Yeah, I would say.
Why are you not taking your money and investing it in the stock market? So instead of overpaying on the 15-year, why are you not taking that extra money and investing it somewhere else?
So that's a great question. My wife has asked me that before. So if I wanted a real return on my investment, instead of throwing those extra payments in, I would be putting them in something, even if it was a CD right now at 4%, because my mortgage is 2.785.
It's true.
So I'm making over 1% on that money if I just threw it into a CD.
And it's guaranteed. It's
guaranteed. I'm sitting there, I know what type of investor I am. And I'm the type of investor that at age 55, I don't want a mortgage.
Mhm.
I'm 45 right now. By the time I'm 55, there will be no mortgage. That's 800. Well, it won't be 800. It'll be $600, because of course my escrow's in there. $600 that I'm not putting out every month, that I can put into something else, whether it be a different vehicle, or whether it be home improvements, or whether it be vacations.
Yep.
I want to get rid of that payment, because I don't want to be saddled with $600 every month going to pay for a house. So yes, I could make more money if I invested it, but I want to get rid of this before I worry too much about my investment.
Well, see, and that's I'm a lot the same way.
Mhm.
I'm fine. Like I have my numbers in my future figured out. So it's like, hey, I already know kind of what I'm investing. And then I have these, which is guaranteed debt.
Mhm.
I can't guarantee. I mean, sure, a CD I can guarantee it's going to make some money. I mean, but I know that this is going to save me or this is going to cost me. So I already have this. I might as well focus on this, right? I'm already doing all the rest of it to set myself up for the numbers I want to be at. And that's why I don't do the amount of investing I should be doing,
Yeah.
right? In theory. Because I tell everybody right now, shit, every penny you have should be going into CDs. Every penny. I mean, 4%.
Guaranteed.
It's what everybody dreams of.
Mhm.
Just throw it into CDs, right? I just saw one, and I actually might fucking do it. I won't. Somebody was offering a 5-year 4% guaranteed CD.
Yeah, that's great.
5 years. Okay. Now, if you're in the fire movement, if you're doing whatever, like 4%, if you take the draw off of it, like that's what you're supposed to live off of. So in theory, right now, for 5 years, if I sold everything, I would make more money than what I'm making currently if I sold everything.
Yeah.
Right. I should do this. Everything says I should do it, but I also know that like when things are paid, then I'll make more money. But,
Right.
But it's just getting to that point sucks.
It does. Again, if you know what type of investor you are and what you're comfortable with.
Yeah.
My HSA.
Yep.
I took 2,000 and invested it in the HSA investment option.
Yep.
And right now it's sitting at $1,900. Now I don't have a high deductible health plan anymore. So the money just sits in there. I can't do anything with it. I can withdraw it whenever I want.
Right.
But I put 2,000 into it and it went down.
Mhm.
So I'm waiting for it to get over 2,000 and then I will take it out because I don't need the money right now.
But until then,
Until then, I'm not taking $100 loss on my money.
right. And because so that's the whole thing. I'm setting myself up to not need anything.
Mhm.
Right. So it's just, and that's what people ask that all the time. Well, why are you not making the smart decision? Look, there's a difference between being perfect, smart, and we also have to understand that we're human.
Mhm.
Right? If I put it into a robot, the robot would say, take every penny and put it over to here. Right? This is, hey, these are your guaranteed odds, right? You're guaranteed to make 1.5% more doing this. Nothing about it is ever going to change that. And so, well, and granted, it'll do a whole calculation because it'll say 2%. Because now if you're only putting 500 into a CD, are you getting more interest? Yes, it's 4% on the 500, but if you overpay that 500 off of the X amount that you owe, will it change that interest? Everybody will say, hey, do the bi-weekly payments on a mortgage. I don't, because that mean I'd have to write fucking checks twice.
I do because I don't write any checks.
Well, I say, right.
It just pulls it directly out.
Which is fine. I don't have mine set up that way. I've never taken the time and I'm fine with it. Right. Like, because this is what works for me. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to do everything absolutely right. We are living proof.
Yeah. Sometimes we make mistakes.
Or we understand who we are as investors, or we understand who we are as people. This is what's best for me. And I'll tell you, if you think living your life on, I'm going to spend 33% of my income on a house because my wife and I will never get divorced. My wife will never get cancer and pass away. My kid will never get in a car crash. Like, I am not a hypothetical person because those statements piss me off in the first place. But like, I don't do hypotheticals. That's one thing people don't understand about me, right? And my daughter's getting really into this would you rather type thing, but like hers is just more, hey, would you want to be a horse or a unicorn? Which is fine. But like, I don't do the hypothetical things. But my brain does, if that makes any sense.
Worst case scenario.
My brain says, this
Yeah.
is what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't happen, I've made it. If
Right.
it does, I'm still set for it, right? Like,
When my wife started getting sick in 2008, we didn't know what the hell was wrong with her.
Yeah.
Before I couldn't get her approved for term life insurance, I took out $100,000 policy on her.
Yeah.
Because we had just bought the house. And without her, I couldn't pay for the fucking house.
right.
So I needed life insurance on her, and I only had 50,000 at work. And she had a job at that point where I think she had 50,000 on herself. So I threw another 100,000 on her. So that gave me $200,000 if something happened to her.
Yep.
Now that term runs out in 2028.
Okay.
Do I necessarily need life insurance after that? Not necessarily. I might find something. I might not. Again, if I drop dead while I work at my job,
Mhm.
she gets a lot of money. She doesn't necessarily care because she'd rather have me alive.
Of course, right?
But, you know, that's one of the things that even when I was dying was always in the back of my mind. Okay, she's going to have this money. She and Caitlin will be taken care of. I'd already talked to you. You were going to help them navigate financially what they needed to do.
Yeah.
But I knew everything was set, you know, and again, I'm playing the long game here. I'm playing the worst case scenario.
Well, and everybody, I don't have life insurance. Okay. My wife probably has some on me from her work and
Yep.
some on her, but like I have none. Okay. But if I pass, my wife is going to be heartbroken.
Mhm.
The cash that I have on hand, she'll be fine.
Yep.
And
She can turn around and sell all the
the
properties.
life we live
Yep.
is very modest.
Yep.
Very minimal. Like at this moment in my life, if I pass, she literally can just take out of my account, pay off the house, let everything get foreclosed on, live her normal life, and she'll be just fine. Right. And she'll still have cash from me. Like, so people ask me, hey, why don't you have life insurance? Because I don't feel I need it. Okay. Like, oh, well, you're used to this lifestyle. No, I have a very small lifestyle. Like, oh no.
Even when you vacation as cheap as possible.
For the most part, right? I mean, the vacation I took with you was probably the most expensive vacation I've taken.
Yeah.
And
that's one of the cheaper vacations I've taken.
And see, like that, and that's why we're different, right?
Yeah.
Like, it hurt me to do it. Yes, we're with friends, and that's why, like, and that's part of like when it's like, hey, was this cruise? Was it? No, it wasn't. Like, there was nothing that said I felt I got every dollar. Like, that's the most expensive vacation that I've spent. I did not get anywhere near what I got, like it was equal to the other things I've done, or right, like I get, and so that's why it's really hard for me. And
well, again, I love going to Hawaii.
Yeah.
But I can't justify spending another $7,000 to take Caitlin and Dawn to Hawaii.
Right.
Now, I totally justified doing it when I did it because I wanted to go back and I wanted them to experience things I experienced as a kid.
Yep.
And we did all of those things and we spent $7,000 and we had a great time.
Yep.
But
now you
we've
could do
done
2
it now.
cruises.
Yeah, we've done it now.
Yep.
I mean, I haven't spent $7,000 on the 4 trips we've taken in the last 2 years.
Yeah. I don't know. I spent like $3,300, I think, on the cruise or something like that. And that's a lot of money for me for a vacation. And there's people listening going, that's pennies. And I'm telling you, like,
yeah, but you went to Florida for how much? And that was adding people on that you didn't expect to pay for.
$1,100 for
Yeah.
5 of us.
Yeah.
And
you were gone, what, 4 days?
7.
Okay.
Say 7 days. Yeah, rental car, hotel, and rental car flights.
You travel very cheaply.
Very.
I do not.
I know. And that's, like, so that's why when I say, hey, life insurance for me, I mean, again, if everything goes into foreclosure, like, again, she doesn't have my income. She doesn't need my income. My wife doesn't need my income. In theory, I don't need my wife's income, right? We're both kind of in a position where this is what it is. And like, I've said it. And so maybe we'll do a whole nother episode. So, guys, I'm gonna cut it. Say,
because we'd be here forever.
Yeah, I hope you've enjoyed. I hope you've learned. If you have any real estate questions specifically for you, for anything about that, I absolutely love it. It's my passion project. It's my business. It's my career. It's my life. If you catch me on the right day, I'm gonna absolutely love it. If not, I'll still tell you the exact truth. I just can't guarantee I'm gonna give you the answer in 2 seconds.
Right.
So, as always, like, subscribe, share, tell your friends, tell your family.
We missed that at the beginning of the episode. That was
did.
bad of us.
We'll get it next time.
We will. So I'm sure we'll be back next week. If you have ideas for shows, please let us know. There's a new Pops and Pennies up. If you're listening to this, go check out our Pops and Pennies. And if you have ideas for that, please let us know because we want to know what the kids want to know about. Other than that, check us out. We're everywhere.
See you next week.
Yeah, we'll see you soon.
You've dialed in
To Bucks and Brews, you might hear something
You can use.
like tips on your cash or tips on the suds.
You're gonna want to
The
use.
smarts of these studs.
Cause they know the brews.
And they know the Bucks, and they know they can't help the stubborn fucks.
So listen up, cause shit's not funny.
Save yourself some
Beer money. Bucks.
and brews.
Bucks and
Bucks and brews.
Brews.
Bucks and Brews.